Hey YouTube, Texas Blades here. We're going to do a review today on a knife sharpener that we carry. This knife sharpener we sell for about $6. You can pick them up online for even cheaper than that. I think they're about $4 or $5. Now I don't generally use this kind of sharpener. I don't use any kind of sharpener that you have to drag your blade through it. I don't like that kind of sharpener. I use a whetstone with oil. They're really cheap. You can pick them up for couple dollars here and there, flea markets, whatever, or even online. You could probably pick one up for about $4 or $5, and that's usually what I carry. However, if you have a camping bag, bug out bag, something like that, EDC, whatever, just a bag that you want a sharpener in, it's a lot of extra weight to throw a whetstone in there. Those things aren't real light, you know, especially the bigger ones. But even the smaller ones, about that big, believe it or not, just adds, you know, 4 or 5 times the weight that this one will. What I do is I take them and I actually cut them off on the handle right here, and then cut them off under here. And so all I have is just this block right here. And they sell them. I've seen Smith & Wesson sells one that's just about that wide and it's about that thick. And it'll actually do, it has 2 slots on it like this one for, you know, high carbon, or carbon steel and stainless steel, and then it has a side for ceramic blades as well. I don't carry ceramic blades. I do own a Kershaw ceramic blade pocket knife, but I paid a lot of money for it, so I don't usually carry it. You know, they're a little bit brittle. If you drop them on a cement surface or something, you can shatter your blade, so I don't too often carry the ceramic blades. These right here, the bad on these is you're gonna get a razor sharp edge on your knife. However, when you go to use it, you're gonna break that edge off. It's gonna chip, it's gonna break, and it's gonna be jagging. And what you want is for it to roll. You want your edge to roll, and then you can just take a steel bar and straighten it back out when you get back from camping or whatever you're doing. But we carry them in our hunting pack just for, you know, skinners will get dull pretty quick, you know, especially the ones I use. I don't know, some people may have really expensive ones. I have a cheap one, and it gets dull pretty quick. So if I don't sharpen it before I go back out, and I field dress something the time before, say I field dress a deer, when we go back out, if I didn't sharpen it when I got home, chances are by the time I'm finished field dressing this thing or this animal, it's going to be dull. So I'll just take this thing and put a quick edge on it, you know, just enough to get through the hide, and then I'll resharpen that knife when I get home. So they are useful. You can use them to sharpen your knife. You just don't want to do it every time, because over time what you're doing is you're just wearing your blade out. Eventually, you know, every time you use your knife, if you're knocking that edge off, well, you're forming a new edge behind it. So you're slowly eating into that blade little by little. And these, you'll use your blade up probably at least twice as fast as you would using a whetstone and putting a proper edge on your knife. And there's a lot of good videos out there on how to sharpen your knives properly. I can't think of anyone right off the back that does one, but I have watched one, and there's a good guy does a good 3-stage process where he uses the coarse side, then he uses the finer side, and then he uses his big leather, what's it called, like strap, something like that. Anyways, he uses his big barber thing, that's what I call it, and puts a really good edge on it, and he shows it under like a magnifying glass or something, really heavy duty magnifying glass, and it shows the edge, and you can actually see when he uses it, it rolls the edge. It actually bends it over. It doesn't break it off. It doesn't chip it off, and that has a lot to do with your steel too. But it has somewhat has to do with how you sharpen your blade. So keep that in mind whenever you're using these sharpeners. This is not a permanent sharpener. You don't want to use this every time, but it's okay to use on the fly, on the go. You know, if you're out camping and knife gets dull, you can run it through this a couple of times and it will put a quick edge on it. So thanks for watching, YouTube.